Hello, Bike Opening 19, River Restoration and Bikeway from Home. It's wet. It's very wet. These are images of the land around Townsville. Cyclone Imogen started off in the Gulf country and has tracked down as a tropical low towards us, and it's been spinning around us for days, going on to weeks now, and it has just dumped a huge amount of rain. So I had to sort of go to some place that was nearby. So I'm leaving home and I'm riding through the streets of my suburb until I reach the edge of one of Townsville's oldest community revegetative sites. This project commenced in 1994, conducted by the Tropical Urban Production and Landcare Group, now called Coastal Dry Tropics Landcare Inc. Prior to restoration, the area was weed infested, fire prone, and there were few native trees. Now the bush garden does as nature intended, provides habitat for native animals, refuge for native plant, shade, and amenity for local people. And most importantly, protects the Ross River banks in this part. Shows you what local communities can do with goodwill and hard work. The project has a native plant nursery and rooms provided by the council, although like everything else, it's been affected by COVID lockdowns. And so we're coming up to that area now, and you can see there's lots of pathways. It's not that far from home. I can go in each direction and find lots of interesting things along the way, but I'm just going up to that garden centre now, and I took that picture there to show the type of restoration. All that, you've got to imagine, has been planted in the last 30 odd years. There was nothing there before, and that's all native vegetation. And there are the buildings I was talking about, and I've just taken a couple of still shots of through the fence, because you can't enter it at the moment, of all those local species which are now planted along the river, and you can buy them as part. Not many people about. It's very wet, it's very humid, it's well over 90%. It's a little bit cooler today, which makes it a bit more comfortable. It's only around 30 degrees, but I can tell you, and I'll show you a bit later on, something I encountered which I forgot all about. You can see there's lots of water around, there's lots of very heavy monsoonal clouds about, there's been rain bursts, there's been flooding rains. It's really been typical of a monsoonal place. Now I'm coming into one of the restoration areas, and I'm just stopping there. You can see the trees. I wouldn't have planted them like that. They sort of look like they're all in rows, and there's the sign that sort of tells you. I think that could have been a little bit more artistic. Now I want you to look very carefully. Can you see the pink ribbons? That's not some sort of art thing. Somebody has tied a pink ribbon to every native plant, and they'll either be dug up and repotted or placed somewhere else. All the rest is weeds. And there's a lot of weeds around, you know. So if you're walking through this area, and if you see a pink ribbon, you leave it alone. But if you see it without, you can pull it up, and that helps rebuild the environment as far as it goes. Now, I was talking about something I encountered and I forgot about, and that was the mosquitoes. I got hit. I looked down and I was just covered in the horrible biting insects, and I had to stop here and there, and there's a wobble on the bike, you know, like this, and this is me clearing the insects off, so I'll be getting home. And the river goes along, and there's signs showing that's what it looks like, and you see it's very green. That's Mount Stewart with the heavy clouds over it. And so I just head back up, and I'm just going to go back home through the streets that live around And as I said, this bikeway goes for many kilometres in both directions. The other way, of course, went back to where I used to live, and down there goes all the way up to the dam. And so all these houses, by the way, they had a metre of water in them in the 2019 floods. So, you know, people get a bit nervous when we get a lot of heavy rain. Not that we're not used to monsoonal troughs, it's just that we live in a rain shadow, and sometimes the rain can get caught by those very mountains that usually knocks out the rain and holds it in, and that's when we get really quite flooded. So I'm just going back through the streets, and I'll eventually get back to where I live. I thought I'd just show you what it looks like. You have a lot of tropical trees, there's palms everywhere. They do snap in very strong cyclones and they can come down. We're going back past the cathedral school here, where I used to teach pottery many years ago, and we'll eventually be getting to my home. I thought I'd just show you at the end of the ride a few of the things that I'm growing. And by the way, Brisbane at the time of this is in lockdown because of that new strain of coronavirus. And that's right next to my house in this slot. And that's a red banana. That's my cat whiskers, which is a native plant. These are the native violets, coleus and caladiums. This is an alocasia, watsonia. This is my herb garden with Chinese spinach and basil. And there's a white cockatoo eating my sunflowers. Okay, bye from me 20, Belgium Gardens and Anderson Gardens. Thank you.